Hello again, it's me, Miles, back for another video, Cloud Together, and this one is going to be about Class, Doctor Who's most recent spin-off show.
Sounds weird when you put it like that.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Gosh. Most recent attempt at a spin-off show from 2016.
Attempt. So yeah, Class. Let's start off. You said
yes.
Start off by the announcement that was made back in 2015.
This was 5 years ago now, so I guess some of these viewers might not even remember this. But I think it was over on Twitter or somewhere. It was like September, October 2015, and the Doctor Who account saying back when it used to be really bonkers. You remember that? When the Doctor Who Twitter account used to just be really bizarre.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was back in this time, and they said suddenly out of the blue, announcement coming
big
at
announcement
11 or 12 o'clock concerning Doctor Who, and then this news came, and
obviously people were like, missing episode announcement. Nope, new spin-off.
I've got it here. It's got that lovely image of Moffat.
I mean, even from the off, it was
from
doomed.
that looks strange, isn't it? Fundamentally, going with like the YA young adult genre is not a great thing to do.
It's a very tricky audience to get a hold of. Yeah, it's
so
you can't.
We should have known.
Yeah, and the thing is with that audience, I don't think it's making things specifically for them, because sometimes it's just the adult stuff that they get into. Like Torchwood, they made it for an adult audience, and young adults came to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, Torchwood was not a young adult show.
No, it wasn't.
But yet it became that kind of cult show for that age group. So I don't think, even from the off,
no one has documented the dark and exhilarating world of the teenager like Patrick Ness, and now we're bringing his brilliant storytelling into Doctor Who.
To be fair to him, he is a good author, from what I've heard. You know,
okay.
Monster Calls, More Than This. They're good books. Are you familiar with?
There are film adaptations, I think, aren't there?
Yeah, I've not seen them, but I've there's a play on at the minute at the Lowry with Monster Calls, which apparently is very good, and his books have been very well received. So I think this. Yes. I don't know if he's a script writer though.
This is a bit of a blip, perhaps then for him. Overall
in his career. It's a shame.
This is growing up in modern Britain, but with monsters.
And they get an American to write it.
Yes, which I suppose, maybe that's the first thing we should address. How this is a show about growing up in Britain. Like, cause when this ended up coming out in, what was it, like 2016?
It was the only thing we got in 2016 other than Return of Doctor.
Yeah, autumn 2016. We had both started sixth form at the same time, hadn't we?
Yeah, we were just starting sixth form. Yeah,
it was like ideal for us.
Yes, I remember saying we were the audience.
We were the audience.
And I didn't relate to any character on screen at all.
But even the setting as well, like the Americanized sort of high school, which just you wouldn't find it, would you?
No. But then they need to do that to sell it to American audiences and things. Things like Sex Education, the program on Netflix in a minute, is basically American, like high school, but all British kids. So you have the British accents to relate to the British audience, but then you have the American setting to sort of related. So maybe it's that, I don't know, but just to sell to audiences abroad.
So that would be an interesting thing to compare it.
I wonder how well it did in BBC America. And
because obviously stuff like Sex Education is better received than
much better
than this. So I guess really then, because we had that initial announcement, then we had the cast announcement.
Do you remember that 360 video they did? It was like on the set of the thing.
Rings a bell.
Patrick Ness like, on the set of Class, and it's like, it's just like a block that says Coal Hill Academy.
Was it from the photos where they'd done the?
Yeah, it was the same day as that.
So it was like the set for the main hall, whatever it was.
And they're all sat there awkwardly,
it wasn't
like
finished yet.
They're all sat there awkwardly, just in the corner, like, I'm Ram. Don't know his name.
Stupid name.
Ram. April.
They were such silly names, weren't they?
Charlie?
Charlie Tanya, was it?
Not a clue. Genuinely not a clue.
To be fair, Miss
who was
Quill
Mateus.
Mateus, I think.
And
I don't mind Miss Quill as a name.
Quill.
That's quite, well, it's okay.
It's just very, like,
Quill is the name of
Harry Potter.
Alien. It came out then, like, it was 10 years to the day that Torchwood came out, wasn't it, I think? or something like that, like
the announcement or
the actual show.
Oh yes, because Torchwood was at the tail end of 2006, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to think like before that. I just rewind back in time. Like, what were your sort of first impression? Like even before it was on.
Oh, before it was on.
Because they'd been filming in like the spring and summer of 2016, hadn't they? And see, I distinctly remember like from the off that there was that whole thing that people were saying. Okay, there are like a select group of fans. Like it was back in the days of WSR and all that sort of stuff, wasn't it?
Oh
like,
yeah.
It was back in that day, and people were saying, "Oh, there are these fans praising it on Twitter. Like, this select group of fans,
classmates."
I'd forgot.
Hashtag classmates. Yeah. And there was a video before the show had even gone out with the girl who plays April and the girl who plays Charlie talking about the show and answering fan questions about what's the show going to be about.
Yeah.
And in one of the questions is, "Oh yeah, that's because the fans are just so nice, aren't they?" It's like the show's not gone out yet. The show has not gone out yet, and you're already talking about them as if you have this massive fan base. Yes. That was one of the failings of the show. The behind the scenes nature of it. They forced this idea of classmates. Do you remember those classmates videos on YouTube?
I don't think I do. What was it? Was it official behind the scenes?
The official Doctor Who channel.
Right.
They got together, I think, 5 fans or so a week on like 5 YouTubers. No, as it was.
Oh,
on,
as it was that.
Right. They would review the past episodes.
Because older people were complaining that they weren't like represented, weren't they? Like,
yeah. And also the fact that there was only like one negative comment in like a whole review.
Yes.
Which was just like, oh, the Shadowkin didn't look that good. I turned to an Australian accent because they had like a wide-ranging like.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I'd completely forgot.
It was all very positive, and it was all they were calling them classmates as if it was like an already established fan base, and it was like.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're jumping ahead of the game here, but that was because like a lot of these fans were the people who'd seen them on set, weren't they? And
yes, and I think to be diplomatic about it, like there were people that had kind of got to know them quite well. I think.
Yeah.
People living in Cardiff, and that's fine, but I wonder if that was like a bit of a kind of bubble thing, whereas like the reception it got in that bubble was maybe not representative
of the whole. Totally. Totally.
Yeah, because like just looking back at that, like trying to remember what it was like I found that slightly alienating myself. Like how there were these people, that were like were already fans. Like,
it was like
so like friendly with the casting crew as well. And like,
it's like, oh, am I not allowed to?
Weird. Yeah. It seemed a bit strange.
No, you say that. It did feel a bit like I'm cut off.
I mean, it's the whole thing of like DWSR and all the sinister sort of side of all that, but. No, I mean, it wasn't that, but it was like similar, and I think that was maybe it was a weird time.
Very weird.
Hiatus year, and this was what was happening.
Yeah, and the trailers coming out.
I've just remembered something else as well that I forgot. Well, I've not forgotten this, but I forgot to say. When was it? It was
met the cast of Class.
It was August. We were on holiday in Cardiff, and
oh no,
I didn't meet anybody, but I'd found out where they were filming, and I was like there. Nothing happened, but I went to go and have a look, and there was nothing happening. It was the exterior of like a kind of pub or bar or whatever. I think it was the scene from the finale where April is singing her song, The Lost. I think that's what they were filming. It was just like this kind of fairly grotty street in Cardiff, but it was all inside, so I couldn't see it. But just to throw that in there.
Yeah, so there we go. Getting close to the show. We didn't mention that in our big video.
No. At the same time, they were filming Thin Ice and Knock Knock from Series 10.
In the big house was this? I remember a lot of people seeing that mansion place. Yeah,
it was like a house in the countryside, and we went to that too. It was like, do I go to the Class filming or Doctor Who?
Oh, you had that choice in mind. My God.
We ended up going to having a peek at both, and unfortunately there was nothing, because it was all indoors for both. There was nothing to see. So
I do remember a lot of photos of Peter Capaldi and Pearl Mackie and their stuff with fans outside one of those homes.
Oh yeah, that was a place in Bristol.
Oh, was that? Bristol. Yes,
but there was another
Bristol,
one where you did. Yeah,
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
but I can't believe you had that choice. But do you remember the trailers that came out like around that time then?
For Class, vaguely.
So I remember them not doing anything for me.
Weird dialogue, like just beyond what you see as a...
Was it narrated by Peter Capaldi?
Do you know the feeling of dread? Oh, there's one that was like, do you know the feeling of dread? And that was like Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
There's one that was Peter Capaldi, wasn't there? Which was better, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think... I don't know. Like, I guess to be positive about an aspect of it, maybe, like, apart from the Americanisation of everything, I was always sort of sold on the look of it, like the production values, I guess.
Yes.
Like,
the Shadowkin look great.
Yeah, and like all the settings and just...
Yeah. The production values were very high.
Like the world they created, I guess, was... Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was that sort of vibe and yeah, I mean... Because when it was on, I guess, like, at what point did you realise that it wasn't gonna like continue, or that it wasn't
getting anywhere? Yeah. Well,
did you like it to start with?
Should we mention we were there the day it was out? The day it came out.
The day it came out, it was a double bill, wasn't it?
Double bill, yeah.
For Tonight We Might Die and the other one, The Coach with the Dragon Tattoo. I think we mentioned before how we thought the coach was like
a bus. Yeah. I was like, how can a bus have a tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that must have been a Saturday.
It was a Saturday, yeah.
And we were in school, and I remember what happened was, I think...
We watched the first one.
Well, no, I think you watched the first one on your phone.
And then I
started watching it on my phone on my own, and then I was in the common room, and... say common room like it's Hogwarts. It's just a room. So one of my other friends came and started watching it with me, and I think you came in and you carried on watching it till the end because you were like, "Oh, I know what's going to happen here. Oh, Peter Capaldi's going to pop up now." And so we watched till the end of that, and then we were like, "Oh, okay, well that was all right." And then you went, "Should we go and watch the other one?" Yeah. So we went down to our media room and on our big
that was quite a gory one, wasn't it? So
yes.
Were you not? You weren't quite.
I wasn't so keen on watching it, but we ended up watching it, and I was surprisingly okay with it.
Oh yeah, okay. Can't remember exactly, but
yeah, and then and I think I remember after
you did a video about it.
I did.
That week.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
that was the only video I ever did about Class, which was like first thoughts.
I don't remember it being that negative. Like,
no.
Were you positive to start?
I was positive in the sense that I thought like I enjoyed it. I suppose. Something like that. But I wasn't like, overwhelming with praise, but I wasn't also damning it. I was just like, you know what, it's okay. These are the elements that worked, and these are the elements that didn't work, and I will watch the rest of them. Mm-hmm. And I did, for my sins. So, yeah, the first two were okay. I mean, yeah, we left it thinking, you know what, we had a good time. And I think what overwhelmed it for me was the fact that we watched it together, with other friends and things, and we did have a good time watching it. But then, as the series went on, like, I really didn't like the third episode, what's it called, Night Visiting?
Okay, right.
I just thought that was really trying to be the emotional one of the series, and it just didn't do it for me. That was trying to be like a Father's Day or a,
okay,
like that sort of stuff. And then, it was the Bravish Heart.
Was that the one for you that kind of
co-owner of A Lonely Heart?
Edge a little bit.
Awful titles. Yeah. But yeah, those are the ones that I was like, this is awful. And I think I watched the sixth one, which was like. Oh, it was the sixth one? Yeah. The sixth one was the one where they're in the classroom together, yeah. I watched that one because I was like, oh, this is an interesting concept. Mm-hmm. And I finished it feeling like, oh, okay, that was alright. And then there was the one with just Quill on her own, which I think was the strongest of the series, mainly because it didn't feel anything like the other episodes. It felt like a better series. And then there was the Lost, which was just... it left me feeling just hollow. I was just like, wow, well, this has really been an impactful series, hasn't it? What about you? Did you watch them all? Or?
Yeah, I remember quite liking the first episode. I mean, it's got Peter Capaldi in it, so cool.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The first episode was great for that scene, and it's almost like when the Doctor leaves, you're like, no, don't go, please, because you're what I've been enjoying watching.
Because, I think I was still fairly positive at that point. There was There's always one bit I remember, which is like a line. There's a little scene with Tanya, which is just so jarring, and she's like talking to her. She's walking home and like talking to herself, and she's like,
"Oh God, yeah.
Of course you're not going to go and join the others or something." And
Have you met teenagers before?
It's awful.
Right. That was another. So Patrick Ness, he's a young adult author, so he knows this audience, but I doubt he's written scripts before. And I doubt he's written dialogue before.
Okay. Yeah.
Dialogue is something I keep harping on about. It's one of the reasons why I'm not so keen on Chris Chibnall's stuff sometimes, because I feel like he can write dialogue that's just bleh. It doesn't sound authentic to me. So dialogue is something that I'm really into. And Patrick Ness just didn't get the way that teenagers spoke. But there's like other stuff, like there's a musical I saw like a few years ago called Everybody's Talking About Jamie. Have you heard of that? Tom McRae.
I've heard of it,
Tom
yes.
McRae, who wrote the Sideman story, wrote
Absolutely,
that.
Yes.
And the way he managed to get the dialogue in that is just like actual teenagers off the page. I believed that I was in a classroom with them. I could hear that language, and the swear words were in the right place. The banter was like authentic. It felt real, whereas it felt so forced in class that I couldn't ever get invested in any of the characters.
Okay.
And you never felt, and they're all too good looking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of them.
I think particularly now looking back, yeah.
Yeah. They're all just a pretty little cast, and it's just
now
like
we're a bit older. And we look back at sixth formers now, and you kind of think
you don't look like that. You don't look like that at all.
Yeah.
So it really didn't represent that kind of.
No.
The demographic it's aiming towards, it didn't represent it well enough. And it's and that's why I think the moments that stood out the most, well, personally, like the Quill episode was probably I say strongest in a comparative sense in terms of the whole series. The lesser of two evils, the Quill episode, and then the moment with the Doctor in at the end of the first one were the best stuff, because that was the time that the show didn't feel like the show. Do you know what I mean?
I think so. Yeah.
And and that was what his biggest pitfall was. It was like, well, from the off, why the hell would you do a spin-off series about Coal Hill School? Like, that's the only draw. The spin-off, it comes from characters, surely. And that's why having the Doctor in your first episode to set things up feels wrong, because it's like, you're forcing this. You're forcing a series to happen.
See that, yeah.
So, anyway, that's my little rant. What do you think?
I don't know, really. I mean, there were bits that I remember like enjoying, like in terms of just the vibe more than the story, the character, or anything. Like, I remember being quite intrigued by like the whole thing with Quill and Charlie, whatever Charlie's race was. I forget the race, but like the two races, like the backstory there.
Was she called a Quill?
I think the alien race was only Quill. It was Quill versus something else.
Oh, yeah. No, I literally no idea.
There were things about it, I guess, like coaching the dragon tattoo. I don't remember much about that. A weird CGI creature. Ram was just a strange character. To me, having him like smoking and stuff just made him instantly dislikable.
And also like
dick to everyone.
Yeah. And his romance with April felt so forced. So forced. Like, where's that come from? Yeah. And it's literally... No, I had something about class as well. It felt like every week before an episode that something would happen would have a really obvious bit of setup. So that episode before they have sex together is literally him and April at a bus stop just having a chat about, oh yeah, we do have things in common, don't we? And then it's like, oh yeah, so the next episode you're going to get together, are you? And then I swear in that two-parter, something happened which set up.
Her dad comes back, doesn't he, as well?
Well, yeah, that was in
that was mentioned
Dragon Tattoo. It was mentioned, that my dad died.
Whichever one it was, yeah, episode 3.
So in episode 2, it probably mentioned that, so that, all right, well, that's going to happen in episode 3.
Yeah.
And I bet something that was mentioned about Charlie in the two-parter that then was brought up again in the...
I guess the whole Cabinet of Souls, whatever it was, like, was he going to use it, wasn't he, sort of thing, wasn't it? Playing with.
It felt very clunky, as if it had been rushed out, which is bizarre because it had a year when the production team on Doctor Who weren't working on anything else. Mm-hmm. So, or were they? Oh no, they would have been working on Series 10, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Well, there were things like...
What did we like?
I always liked Quill, I think. I don't think I ever disliked her.
No, I thought she was good.
I think she had a kind of small role to play, I suppose, in the whole female Doctor thing.
Yeah, true.
Just a tiny, not massive role, but
massive. She was the reason we got a female Doctor.
There were moments. I guess actually, just thinking back through it, the best moments were with her, like scenes like where she was in the classroom. Like hardly any of it was ever set in a classroom, but like scenes where she was at the front of the class, just being all moody, and the teenagers were there, and the little thing she had with that. Do you remember that cyborg guy, whatever he was, played by the same guy that played Colony Sarf?
My God, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. Who was like a caretaker.
I just loved him to go
Davros.
Davros, I remember.
What was he? He was a like an inspector.
Yeah. And he got blown up.
Funny little.
He got eaten.
Subplot. Oh, did he by the dragon?
Something like that.
That rings a bell. Yeah. I like that. And then does she drive a bus into the thing at the end of episode 3? Which was that was But there was a scene in that as well. I think in her flat. I'm really touching at straws. I like the setting of like their flat where they lived. It looked nice. That's a really tangential thing.
A very weird
surface
level.
But
yeah,
it was like a nice
it did look
like the
nice.
kind of modern. Some of the buildings and stuff were like nice and modern. I don't know. I mean, that's touching at straws a bit. I think. I definitely agree with you about the relationship between April and Ram being forced.
Even the stuff with Charlie and his boyfriend, which was like...
It came very quickly,
yeah, we knew it was going to happen because it was mentioned that it was gay characters, but it was literally in the first episode, and it's like, no, build up to this. Because, okay, I know comparing it to Torchwood is one thing, but like, the way Torchwood opens, with Gwen as your way in, and you're entering this alien world, as opposed to all of the characters not knowing a thing at all.
That's a good point.
Apart from Quill, who I guess does know stuff. But it just feels like too many characters in the sense that they all need to get clued up on this at the same time, whereas it's just Gwen in Torchwood.
Yeah.
Torchwood, I mean, like I said, I've rewatched it recently because it's on iPlayer, so if you haven't, just binge it. But it's just done so well, and I know Series 1 of Torchwood isn't the best, but it's just, that is how you do a spin-off, that's how you set things up, that's how you bring people into this world. It's just done, and in a way, I mean, like, I know Series 1 of Torchwood is probably doing that thing of, this is an adult show, so we're going to drop the F-bomb within the first 2 minutes, we're going to have a sex gas monster in episode 2, but Class clearly didn't learn from that, forcing it, because it repeated the same thing. So like episode 1, you've got Ram getting his leg chopped off. You've got the episode 2 being about a creature that skins human beings, and eats their skin or eats the innards or whatever it is.
Just hearing you say that's a weird thing to put into.
Yeah, in any program, that's just messed up. Yeah. So. And it's almost like, we've got a checklist, we've got to have blood and gore, we've got to have sex in there somewhere, we've got to have all the... And it's just like, don't go by a checklist, just let the characters breathe, let the series just develop, give it time. Because I think the fact that Patrick Ness just blew his load within the first 3 episodes, and then it's like, well... And the fact that we end the series, it doesn't make you want to go, I want to know what's next, even though we get that little... Series 2 bait of the Weeping Angels. With that character who people thought was related to the Sarah Jane character.
Yes, that guy. Yeah. We've also just been turning to the end of the series. Like, how did you feel about that character? I think she was introduced in like episode 4 or something after. Poor old Mr. Armitage got killed off. Was he a victim of the dragon?
Yeah, he got killed off in episode 2. Yes. He was he was like the most lovely character in the whole thing.
Oh,
and they killed him straight away.
Like, after him, the headmistress they had, I thought she was good. Pookie Quensel, I think, is the actress.
Is that her name? Right.
And I liked the whole thing with the governors that they were kind of pushing. I was intrigued by that. I think that was one of the stronger parts of it.
Right.
The Weeping Angel thing, on the one hand, intriguing. On the one hand, a bit forced, isn't it? Because like
it's just clearly like, keep watching
Doctor Who.
But I love how no one cares.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know. Just overall, like, you get a vibe from a series, don't you? I know it sounds a bit hippie to say that, but you get like a vibe of like, I enjoy this, and I get that from Torchwood. I get that from Sarah Jane. From Class, I sit down and watch it and it just saps something out of me. It saps a bit of life from me. Genuinely though, I tried to watch, I thought I know a bit of the first episode, so I put on Netflix and I thought, let's see, just try the start of episode 2. The first 2 minutes I was like, this is draining me of something. I don't know what it is.
That's the bit, is it where in the changing room and there's like a shot of a guy butt naked?
Oh, of course, yeah, of course we've got to have that. But it's like, it starts with Ram playing football and, he's just being abused by the... Yeah. Big Finish, you know, they've come back and done some, but they're doing them set
within the series, but not afterwards for some reason.
Why? Why is there didn't they object?
And now they've lost like 2 of the cast members as well.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I mean, like that's not a signal of.
I don't know.
Wow.
But in a way, I would like to see what they would have done with the story, just out of interest, nothing else.
Yeah, or even in writing.
Somehow.
Maybe.
But yeah.
I just don't. I think I'm invested in those characters at all. Do you know what I mean? It's like I got on board with none of them. Ram, no.
He was definitely for me the most
kind of
dislikable.
Yeah, and he didn't really go
character.
through. I know he sort of did go through a character arc of sorts, but not enough to make you go, wow. It was just like, right. I can't remember one of the girls' names. What was she called? Tanya. Yeah. Don't think she had any development.
Annoying, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Like
she's
meant
felt
to be
the spare part, really, didn't she?
Yeah.
April.
Which was sort of the point, but then again.
Yeah. Right. April had a thing with her dad, didn't she?
Yeah.
But I can't see how that changed anything. And
I think it was maybe like because she became intertwined with like the Shadowkin leader, didn't she?
Oh yeah, that was
like
her purpose, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was like gonna become. Of course, at the very end, the cliffhanger. So, if you remember when Patrick Ness has been saying in an interview.
Yeah.
Oh, when I started writing this show, I immediately knew where it was going to end. I knew what the last words would be. And I can't even remember what the last words
Is this
are.
like,
but
what are you looking at?
Yeah, it's April's voice in the Shadowkin's body or something.
Oh my, yeah. And you know what? Okay, so there's recently...
I don't know how you can get out of that.
Yeah.
It's
recently, they put on YouTube, they've done official YouTube channels for Torchwood, Sarah Jane and Class, right? Let's just have a quick look at the subscriber count for each one of those.
Okay.
So if I head to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel, Torchwood has 9.3k subscribers. These aren't as much as I would have thought they would have been, but 9.3k subscribers, right? Sarah Jane, 7.2k subscribers. Class, 1.06k subscribers. That is less than both of our channels that we have. Like, I mean, that's mad.
Isn't it? Yeah.
and I watched. I went on that channel just to sort of get. I went on Class the Best Moments video.
Yes.
I mean, I'm surprised it's that long. But like, I skipped to the end to see that moment, and I just.
The cliffhanger.
Yeah, I just sank inside myself. I was like, this makes me feel awful for the people who worked on this programme. It's just abysmal.
Got to see this again. It was bizarre.
Why is everyone looking at me like that?
So they were the last words. Why is everyone looking at me like
their faces is just like, yep, this is going to be cancelled.
Oh gosh!
And everyone collectively said, "I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's not good."
Yeah.
So let's wrap up.
Wrap this up.
Well, I don't know how we wrap up. I was going to say how would we compare it to other spin-offs, but it's kind of obvious, really, isn't it? I mean, I doubt.
I mean, I haven't watched Torchwood Series 1 in a while. I probably need to go back and watch it.
Give it a watch.
I remember that being quite rough, but do you think then because you've rewatched it recently, do you think even so it is...
And I think it's rough.
What is it about it that you think kind of is better, that it works better? So.
Because the characters, for one thing, it's more episodes in the series, so the characters get more time to breathe, characters get more episodes dedicated to them. I think there's certain characters like Yanto who don't really get developed an awful lot, but then they will get in subsequent series.
Sure.
But someone like Owen really does have a distinctive character arc, you know, through the whole thing. You know, he you start off the series, he's an absolute dick, you know, and sleeping around. He does all that stuff with Gwen, meets this love of his life, Diane, and then she flies off, and that changes his character totally, in such a way that it affects his further choices as it goes on. Similar for Gwen, you know, she does all that, and they're all, it makes sense. It does make sense, and there's reasons, there's motivations behind things, and you've got a really interesting central lead. Like, Jack is mysterious in a way that you want to know more, as opposed to Quill, who's mysterious in the way that she's just a dick. It's like, why are you so shitty?
Sure.
Even Torchwood Series 1, which is often seen as like one of the weaker series of a spin-off, is a lot stronger in terms of plotting, and Class very much felt like they're making it up as it goes along, whereas Torchwood feels like they mapped it out from the start, because they were like, right, we need to get this right.
I guess it goes back to the fact that the other spin-offs have been more integrated into the world of Doctor Who, whereas Class wasn't.
It felt rushed as well.
Yeah,
even for a year that Doctor Who wasn't on, it felt rushed.
It was sort of doomed to fail because it was an experiment for BBC Three online, wasn't it? It was a young adult audience, which is never going to go too well, and
it's a very tricky audience to get hold of. So it's a shame that, but like I said, I mean, if you're going to do a spin-off, you've got all these Paternoster Gang spin-off they could have done at that time, Unit spin-off, which has been a spin-off that is ripe for all sorts of. That's a great format that you could, birth from that. And I mean,
do you think they could have made it work with the circumstance, like without changing the circumstances of, like, I don't know, like the people in charge, or anything in a major way? Do you think it could have worked? Or do you think it was always
No, I think it was always doomed to fail.
I think so.
From the off, like the concept.
I think even the people that commissioned it didn't really believe in it, did
they? You don't have a spin-off based on a setting. You have a spin-off based on a character who people loved. Like, people loved Captain Jack. People loved Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
Give them a spin-off. People loved K9. Alright, it didn't work, but that's like a reason to make a spin-off. You don't go, people love Cole Hill, don't they? Did they? Let's make a spin-off. What? No, let's make a spin-off. Why? No, let's make a spin-off. And like I said, the fact that the Doctor was in the first episode to set it all up, it feels literally like, alright, so let's set up this whole series and you do this and that, there we go, perfect, bye. You're really rushing it through, and it's just, it was never gonna work. So I think that's hopefully a lesson that's learnt now, and I doubt we're gonna get another Doctor Who spin-off, if not ever, for a long time yet.
Yeah, and hopefully they'll learn their lesson.
Yeah.
Lesson,
class. Pun,
incidental, coincidental. So, I hope you've enjoyed that, and everything else we've done. We've recorded 3 things today, including this, and hopefully you've seen them over the past few days, weeks, months, whatever. and more to come later this year from both of us. So do subscribe to us both, all that sort of stuff. Thoughts on Class down there if you want to. If you don't, that's fine too. And goodbye.
What's everyone staring at? I even got the line wrong.